Good morning. Good morning. I'm giving you guys a beautiful view of the San Diego harbor. All these beautiful boats you can see over there. You know, when you see palm trees, you're either in one of two places, Florida or California. One or the other. I just so happen to be in my hometown or my home city. Great morning, Darnell. Great morning, everybody. So I'm recapping. Hey, y'all. I am out walking the border outside of my hotel and wanted to shoot a quick video as I spent this morning reflecting on what an amazing week this has been. It has been, God, I'm just thank God for how he opens up doors. Hey guys, hey. Hey Sabrina, I thank God. You know, when you have a goal and you map things out, you may not always know how it's going to manifest, but you'll begin to see just doors open and possibilities created and shifts happening. So, anyway, I want to talk to you guys and talk about the fact the summit was freaking phenomenal. And the content was really good, but it wasn't about, conferences are not about what happens in the conference as much as it is what happens in between the conference. So that's the having lunches with certain people. That's the hanging out in the lobbies and meeting new people. That's the connections that you make from the person sitting next to you that you never thought you would meet. You know, hey, from Russia. I met so many people from Australia and the Ukraine and Slovenia and all these amazing places. And, you know, it's just an expansion, like an expansion beyond your comfort zone. You know, I want to talk to you guys about the fact that it's time to transition beyond mediocrity. It's time to transition beyond mediocrity. You know, I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people, um, and you know, the funny thing is oftentimes in these kind of environments, the first thing people do is they walk up to you and they say, "Ooh, my phone's dirty. I hate a dirty phone. Hold on." Hello, how are you? Is that better? That's clear now. All right. So, in this environment, tons and tons of people, you know, everybody walks up to you and what's the first question they ask? Hey, besides your name, but you have a name on a name tag, they ask you, "What do you do?" Right? And you love the background. Look at this. So beautiful. So gorgeous. And, you know, the more people ask me what I did, the more I just stopped trying to respond with a super savvy answer, you know, because as you guys can see, I am transitioning. And when I say transitioning, I'm putting myself out there to go beyond what's been comfortable for me. Do I have a definition of or explanation of what that is? Nope. But I know that who I am is requiring a level of ascension to a whole new level that I've never been. So that means I'm appearing at different conferences and I'm connecting with new people and putting myself in new opportunities and, you know, just to begin to experience what that next level is. And so I noticed that I went from in the beginning trying to be super savvy in my elevator pitch when they say, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, yes, I do this, that, and the other," to by the time we were done, I was saying, "You know what? I'm here this weekend to grow into that next level. I can't give you a definition. I can't explain a blueprint. I can't give you a path of what that is. But I know that I got to go to the next level." And here's the deal. You know, I share with you guys, oftentimes we allow ourselves to get comfortable in a place of mediocrity that from the outside looks as if we are advancing in life. But we know that where we are is not causing us or encouraging us to stretch beyond where we're supposed to be. And so we get to a place where I'm trying to see, where do I want to walk? I guess I'll keep on walking on the marina. Look at all these boats, y'all. But we know that where we are, it's like you're staying under the radar of mediocrity. You're doing just enough to look like you're doing something. But in reality, you know internally there's so much more that you were born to do, so much more that you're required to do. And here's the deal for me. You know, I don't know who's on this Periscope, but I'm gonna let you guys know my conversation is changing. Many of you guys will no longer be a part of my market. It's sad, but guess what? I'm moving on. I'm moving on to a place of elevated conversations. I want to talk about building businesses and building teams in your companies and getting yourself to a place of increasing your profits and understanding your numbers and really advanced level conversations. I don't want to talk about, let me show you how to make money online. I don't want to talk about, let me show you how to just make simple money here. I want to talk to you about building long-term success in business. And so this might need a little bit of music in the background that might be a little sad because some of you guys will no longer be my market. For a long time, I've allowed myself to stay in the same level of conversation that I started out with in 2008. The reality is you grow up, you change, you move on, you go to new levels. And the conversation you had when you first got started is not going to be the conversation you had when you've already accomplished tons of goals and gone to new levels and, made new transitions in your business and in your life. And so I think for so long, I lived in a place and space of guilt. Like, oh my God, but I have to help everybody. And guys, you know what? I can't. The reality is as much as you want to help the world, you can only help position people. Hello, how are you, sir?
How are you?
Good. You enjoying your walk?
Yes, I am. It's gorgeous here.
Isn't it gorgeous? Where are you from?
Dallas.
Oh, Dallas. I'm from Austin.
Are you?
Yeah. Are you here for a conference?
Well, yeah, I got a client. I set up a client. I got a client over here.
Oh, good for you. It's beautiful, right?
Yes.
Well, enjoy. Yeah, so we get to a place where we want to be the end all be all and people love you on the internet. I appreciate you guys coming and watching and giving me hearts. But you know what, guys? It's time to move on. I saw a video yesterday and the video was of Snoop Dogg having a conversation with like some young rapper, right? And the conversation was about how many years he spent. He said, I started off with all my homies. And in the beginning, I wanted to help everybody get to the top like me. He said, but at the end of the day, out of 60 of you, it's only probably going to be one superstar. And he was like, I was trying to make everybody a superstar. I would buy them clothes and I would, put all this money on them and I would try to keep everybody with me. He said, but what I noticed is as I was rising and they stayed at the same place, I was trying to pull them up. So what happens is when you're trying to pull people up that can't go up, you end up coming back down to where they are. He said, I realized I can't do it. He's like, you can't take everybody with you. And so look at this beautiful thing. So here's my truth, My truth is I can't stay down here anymore, y'all. Can't stay at this lower level of conversations of just making money, of just surviving, of, whatever goes along with that conversation. I have to allow myself to flourish and fly. And what that means is you got to own where you are. And where I am is elevating to new levels of long-term success. When you go through this online space, right? Started out online in 2008. Network marketing I started 17 years ago. And you're broke, you're struggling, you are in dire straits, and you're desperate. All you want is to pay your bills. In the beginning, that's all you want. You're just like, Lord, please, let me be able to get my rent money. Lord, please let me be able to get the money for daycare. Please help me to be able to get my light bill done. But that's hustle mode. And honestly, hustle mode will burn the crap out of you if you allow yourself to always think like you are someone in hustle mode. But what it takes is when you start learning how to create success, when you start learning how to progress in business, you allow yourself the right to ascend to a new level. And that new level is, okay, I'm no longer just trying to pay my bills, but now I'm trying to create consistent income. And now I'm trying to look and see what worked when I made my first couple of checks and how can I duplicate that process. And I can do a rinse and repeat where I start earning more but working less. What systems do I need to put in place? What people do I need to hire? What things do I need to change? What market do I need to go after? What shifts are required for me to be in a place where growth is natural? And unfortunately, in this environment, we tend to praise any level of paycheck. and we worship the paycheck. We talk about, oh, I've made this money, and oh, I drive this car, and oh, I have this house. But it still is designed around short-term thinking. There is no long-term plan. There is no conversation about building long-term business assets. There's no conversation about taking your money that you make, reinvesting it into your business, growing your organization, having a staff to work with you, building your team beyond a hustle. It's just not. And you know, guys, guess what? That's the conversation that I'm going to have. And so for many of you, you know, you might listen to what I have to say, but to be honest, what I have to say is totally irrelevant to the stage that you are in your life. But I am not apologetic about that because everybody has to go through their own process. And what I've had to learn is that I can no longer live within the expectations of where someone feels I should be. I have to honor and own where I know I am called to be and move in alignment with that assignment. And so, my friends, this weekend is a transcending encounter to a whole new level where I'm at. You know, the reality is a lot is about to change. Conversations, topics, focus, you know, crowds, people, period. Everything is about to change in my life. Why? Because I'm no longer allowing myself to live under the bar of mediocrity in the world of average. You see, when I first got started, this was my dream. Travel, make money, have multiple income streams coming from different places, and be able to be acknowledged for it. That was what I wanted in 2008. Today, that's not my goal anymore. As far as that's not my only goal. Now I want online assets. I want a team of people that I work with. I want to develop systems to help other people succeed. I want to create blossoming entrepreneurs who are positioning their businesses to be fully functional on the back end, creating six figures and positioning themselves for seven-figure incomes, running a business, not being positioned in a hustle. Okay? There's a difference. There's a difference. You know, I am not living my life in hustle mode anymore. So I say this, I don't know, I think this is truly the end of a chapter video. It's crazy because I knew I had to shoot a video. I just didn't know what I was going to talk about. And I'm talking about it. And this is what has to happen. You know, I'm going to tell you guys a brief story that changed my life this weekend. And I want y'all to look at this view behind me, okay? Look at this view behind me as I tell you this story. And I say this, and tears may fall from my eyes, okay? Tears may fall from my eyes. But I was hanging out in the lobby, and y'all know last year I made a commitment to get from behind my computer. This year I made a commitment to be intentional about building relationships, quality-based relationships. So what does that mean? That means that I've cut off people who I felt weren't investing in the quality of my growth, and I positioned myself to be in the audience of people where I can encounter new levels of growth, okay? So what does that mean? That means that I'm at this conference with an intention. I don't know who I'm going to meet. I just know that I came here to meet quality people, and I know what my intentions before I came to this event. Allison Bird told me, Nicole, don't ever show up to an event and not have an expectation of what you are going to get out of it. And so I showed up at this event and I had expectations to meet the right people for collaboration purposes, to build quality relationships where I can identify people who I can invest in their lives, and so on and so forth. And so I've met so many amazing people. But here's what happened. With me saying that, and with me saying that I was intentional about meeting quality people, I hung out intentionally in the lobby to meet new people. I knew a lot of people here. I did spend time with some of the folks that I knew, but I made an intention not to hang around just people I knew. I set the intention to go sit down at a table with people that I didn't know and be intentional about asking them about them and what do you do and where are you from and, you know, how can I serve you? I was intentional about meeting new people. And so I hung out in the lobby and everybody was tired. And I said, you know what? I'm not leaving. Hey, how y'all doing? I said, I'm not leaving. I'm going to sit here. I'm just going to meet some new people. So I'm standing in this lobby and this older gentleman came and walked up to me and he said, are you looking for me? And we began to talk. He was a little drunk. You know, everybody drinks, hangs out at the bar after hours. But I love sometimes when people are a little, and this is maybe crazy, but I like when people are a little inebriated because the true them is freed up, right? And so this man, he was just honest, right? He wasn't crazy, but he was honest about business. He was like, let's talk business. Where are you in your life? And what do you, and he just started investing in me. He's like, let me tell you, you know, here's what I did. I struggled with this for so many years, but then I made a decision. And he's just kind of, you know, he didn't have a filter. And sometimes when people don't have a filter, it kind of works, right? Because you get the raw, true insight, good and bad. But he was pouring into me, older gentleman, right? But while we're standing there, we ended up being there for like a half an hour, 15 minutes to a half an hour, 20 minutes to a half an hour. Are you still here?
Yeah, I'm just, like I said, I got a big client over here, and I'm just...
Enjoying this beauty, right?
Yes, I am.
Well, good for you. This is gorgeous. And so while we're standing there, this guy, he walks by and I'm looking at him and I'm like, he looked like a celebrity, honestly. But when you're in the internet space for so long and you see a lot of the same faces over and over again, they're like celebrities, right? So he walked by me. I said, I know you. I said, I've been on your list for like 4 or 5 years, right? And so he's smiling. He's a dude with a lot of swag, tattoos, earrings. You know, he kind of like a black dude in a white dude's body from the UK, right? And so we start talking, and I'm like, yeah, I bought your products, and, you know, so good to see you. What's going on? So he shared with me that he had just moved here to San Diego from London. And I was like, really, what are you up to now? You know, are you still doing the same things? Hello, how are y'all? And so one of the things that he said to me, he said, Nicole, he said, I had to burn the boats. And I was like, huh? He said, Nicole, I had to burn the boats. I was like, what do you mean? He said, have you ever heard the story? I said, nope. So he said, he gave me the story. I don't know the full story. I got to learn the real story because I'm going to be sharing the story a lot. But the story is about a bunch of soldiers. Back in the 1500s, I believe, there was an island, a location where tons and tons of treasure was hidden, right? And tons of people were trying to come and conquer. Tons of military armies were trying to come and get the treasure. But they had to fight. I guess they had to fight another army there or whatever who was protecting the treasure and so on and so forth. So almost every single person that attempted to do it failed. They either were killed or they escaped and ran away, right? So let's just say it's Cortez. Cortez gathers all his troops and he has this speech and he paints the vision for where it is that they're going to be as a result of conquering this treasure. And he's constantly investing in them and telling them, you know, here's what will happen as a result of us being able to acquire this treasure. He painted this beautiful vision. Took 11 boats, like 500 different army men, took horses and the whole 9 yards. And they get to the island and he's doing his speech. I always think of William Wallace in the movie Braveheart, right? He's doing this speech. And he tells them, we're going to conquer this gold and we're going to get the treasures and you're going to go home with a victory and blah, blah, blah. He said, but let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to burn the boats. And think about this. You thinking, I'm on this island. Something happened to me. I need to get home. But you mean to tell me that the only method of transportation I have, I'm about to burn? He said, we're going to burn the boats. Burn the boats. And they burned all 11 boats. And what he told him is you got 2 choices. See, before you had 3. Before you can either conquer, you can either die, or you could escape, right? But if you know you're fighting a battle and you're losing, what do? You say, you know what, forget it. I'm on the boat. I'm going back home. But he said, we're going to burn the boats because here's why. Either you're going to win or you're going to die. So in essence, you better fight for your life, because you have no other option to escape from this commitment that if you don't conquer it, guess what? It's game over. And what do you think happened? What do you think happens when your safety net, your only form of transportation, is removed from you? What happens? You conquer. You conquer. So my friends, Mr. Alex Jeffries, I told him he will forever be indebted in my life. Because because I'm going to never forget that. I never heard about it before. I know that Napoleon Hill talks about burning the bridges. Here's the deal. Gotta burn the boats. Gotta burn the boats. And you know the boats that I'm burning in my life? Mediocrity, mediocre conversations, excuses, accepting all the reasons why I can't, hanging around people who don't have to drive, who have excuses, who's not committed, who's crying wolf about how their life is so bad. Guess what? I'm burning that boat, baby. No longer a way of escape for me to get away from where I'm destined to be instead of a place where I was just good at. So anyway, how many of you have boats you need to burn? How many of you are in stages in your life where you're holding on to too much stuff and you know you need to let it go? How many of you know you were born to do greater and mighty things, but you allow yourself to stay in the cult of average? This is not a motivational speech. This is music singing in the background. This is tears running down my face. This is a harsh reality that who I was, I'm no longer am, and I can no longer accommodate that person anymore. This is tears about the expectations of where people thought I should be and realizing I'm not going in that direction, sorry. I'm going where I know I'm destined to be. And this is a conversation to say for some of you, this is the end of the road for our connection. This is it. It's over. This season of our lives, you know, they say people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. For some of you, that season is up. And it's over. On to the next level, y'all. I can no longer do what I did to get to where I am because it's not going to help me get to where I need to go. So my friends, the irony that the boat is in the background, and I want you guys to imagine all of this on fire, and it was my only source of transportation. But at the end of the day, I'm fighting for my life because I'm going home with the goal. So ladies and gentlemen, it was good, it was real, but guess what? On to the next one, like my boy JC would say. Bye, y'all.